The Bible is very clear that we will spend eternity in one of two places, either with God in heaven or away from God in hell. And even though we like to talk a lot about heaven and the blessings of God, Jesus himself actually spent more time talking about hell and warning us about that than he did the blessings of heaven. So with that in mind, we are starting a new ministry here at BNC called Hellstop. You can think of it as maybe an alternative to the Halloween haunted houses. So there is a little bit of that element, but it has truth behind it. Because it is also our job to warn people of the consequences that may happen if they do not make the decision to follow Christ. So here is how Hellstop will work. The first things groups will do will go into a room to watch a video with a state highway patrolman or sheriff officer, and they will talk about the dangers of drinking and driving and even texting and driving. And the concept leads into the whole premise of the night is that what if you died in a car crash tonight on your way home and your life was demanded of you? Where are you spending eternity? So the first scene you were led to, and our leaders are Grim Reapers, they act as a tour guides. You come to a mock crash scene and you see all that happens there. And then from there, the idea is that you were involved in this accident, you died, so now what happens? So from there, you would go on to a graveyard scene. And there is a tombstone with people mourning and kind of experiencing that. But then we would lead them into the throne room of God. At this point, everyone gathers in and they hear the voice of God speaking and hearing the words that all of us would dread to hear, "Depart from me, for I never knew you." At that point, there is a person that's laying in a casket in front of them. They rise up, they plead with God, they make their case, and it's not enough. It's too late, and they are dragged out of the throne room of God by other demons and led to the tunnel of darkness. And that is there. We would take our group. They would experience that. We'd talk about the outer darkness, the weeping and gnashing of teeth. And it is a very scary moment. This is obviously something we would not want young children to be a part of and experiencing that. And then once they make it through the tunnel of darkness, they are then led to the lake of fire, or the pit of hell, if you will. And that is where they would meet Satan, and he would give his little intro and his spiel and mentioning about torment and separation and really believing the lies that you had more time, you lived a good life, different things like that that people tend to make excuses for not following Christ. And then from there, all the scary stuff at that point is done. But they will be led back inside into a room where they will hear a shortened gospel message that is basically, heaven and hell is real, Christ died for your sins, and you have a choice to make. And from there, they will be able to go through a couple of doors. One door just leads back outside, the night is done. The other door has a question mark on it. And through that door, they will go into another room that has pastors, counselors, adults, sponsors, whoever. If you have a heart for leading people to Christ, and or whether it's a first-time commitment or someone that's kind of fallen away and needs to be brought back, this would be a great opportunity for you to jump in and help us out, because there will be numerous people, especially teenagers, who will be coming through that are going to be forced with some decisions to make. If your life was demanded of you tonight, where are you spending eternity? And our hope is that people will make a choice to follow Christ this night, to realize one of the two things is going to happen. And we need to not be silent on this. So if you've been intrigued so far, here are some areas that we could really use your help. First of all, we have some projects that are going to require some set construction. So if you're handy in that area, we could definitely use you and getting those sets together. We also need some actors. As far as our Grim Reapers, or even just people to be present. That we have a lot of people we need that don't necessarily have speaking lines, but we need to fill in the mock crash scene, to be around in the judgment throne of God, to help with the tunnel of darkness, things like that. And so if that is something you would be able to do and enjoy doing, we would love to have you as part of that. We also need people who can work concession stands in the gym, as well as helping with getting people in, and also the staging areas, making sure people are stationed so we have the flow through so people know where to go, and just kind of guiding people throughout the building. It's not necessarily a costume part, but just being available to direct traffic. Then we also need people to help with costuming and makeup. We will have several characters, especially whoever plays the Grim Reapers or the role of Satan, or maybe some of the demons that we'll have to have some makeup on them. We need people that can help with that and having costumes available. So if that is an area that you can help us out with, we would love to bring you on board with that. The dates for Hellstop are listed here on the screen, and so please check your calendar to see if you'd be available to help us. If you can do all 3 nights, great. But maybe you can only do 1 night. We will still use you. We want as many people involved in this as we can to share in this night and really know that we are out there proclaiming the gospel of Jesus Christ in a new way here. And not only do we need help with this, but we really want your prayers on this. This is obviously an event going into that there's going to be some spiritual warfare on. The enemy does not want us knowing his tricks, his secrets, does not want us as a church warning people of the danger of hell. And so we need this event bathed in prayer. We need our workers, our actors, everyone involved needs to be held up in prayer in this event, and so that we can make sure the message of Jesus Christ is heard loud and clear. And as always, thank you for being part of our BNC family, and we look forward to joining with you in this ministry.